got Ky Robinson, second indoors, pretty good. Cole Sprout, fifth indoors, also pretty good. We've also got Hicks of Stanford, third in the indoor 3K, Pac-12 cross-country champion. And we haven't even gotten started. We've got some more folks from there. Amon Kemboy from Arkansas, also a scorer in both the 3K and 5K. Drew Bosley, NAU. Not to mention Nico Young, star freshman from NAU. There are a number of studs in this race, or is Nico's in the 10K?
So it looks like, yeah, it looks like he might not be here tonight. But I want to keep an eye on hip 14. Yamato Yoshi from Cho University. Talk about range. He's run 13:25 for the 5K, 28:03 for the 10K, but then 61:47 for the half. And so this is going to be, I would expect Yoshi would be the kind of runner that would make it really uncomfortable for a really long time on the back half of this race.
Yeah, he's going to be an athlete who's pretty comfortable taking it. You know, he could take the lead at 2,000 meters and feel pretty comfortable keeping his foot on the gas and staying pressed, just given some of that range. 61:47, outstanding half marathon time. So we should see some good running here in this men's 5K.
Thank you.
13:25.
Sure. What do you have?
Tacos, pork, beef, chicken, veggie.
So 13:25 is the Stanford Invitational meet record. I think it's certainly in jeopardy here. Again, on the track here, the men's 5,000 meter invitational. Getting some final directions here to the athletes before they get started.
Men's heat 1 for 5,000.
5,000 meters for the night. Men's invite section scheduled for a field of 20. 13:39.51 by Kusha. Outstanding time. They're clearly chasing here to get the victory. At the Stanford Invitational.
As they cut in here. Looks like that's James Hennigan of Wales setting the pace out front.
Kemboy's a really talented athlete from Arkansas, settling into third there.
Qualifier this year, 61.4. On that opening 400, Capital Doyle of Portland is in the field. UCLA qualifier 1,500. Isaac Akers of Tulsa. Michael Power of Tulsa.
We'll get a sense of what this 200 to 600 meter split is here. Again, looking for 64 highs to try to challenge that meet record.
All right, that was about a 63 up at front, so they are on pace looking at that 13:30 mark.
We do have Kemboy from Arkansas in the mix. We've got Evan Burke from Stanford. Yoshi from Cho University. He's also in the mix. Looks like he's in 6th right now. in an all white.
And meet record territory is not going to be something that's too unfamiliar to the top Stanford athletes as well as Ken Boy from Arkansas. They would have had to run that to qualify for the NCAA indoor meet. So they've done that in 2022. So these guys are primed and ready to go. Who knows what we can see if they decide to really go for it.
So it's a quick pace, but it looks sustainable. It looks comfortable for the group. I don't see a whole lot of extra work being done. Maybe because the pace has slowed a little bit. So things have slowed down a little bit to the 65, 66 kind of area. I would expect that our Welsh runner up front is going to quicken that pace a little bit, get them back on track. So we've got Jonathan Davis from Illinois, joined by Ky Robinson of Stanford, Ken Boy of Arkansas. We also have Jason Intrevea of PDC represented up there at front as well.
Davis was an athlete, I believe, competed in the mile at the NCAAs, certainly an NCAA qualifier indoors. So, you know, this is really a who's who of top NCAA talent in this race.
All right, coming through here. The splits are again just a little bit north of where you'd like to see them, especially if they're wanting to challenge the meet record. And again, in terms of what's capable for these athletes, what's possible for these athletes, again, a little bit, it's honest, but maybe not quite as intense as what's possible. And it looks like our Welsh runner is peeling off there on the side. He's done his work. It was a 4:20 split for the first 1600. I think maybe just north of that.
Ken Boy looking pretty relaxed there in third place. And I believe that's Ky Robinson from Stanford sitting in second.
So it's Jason Intrevea of PDC leading a good strung out group of Charlie Hicks, Ammon Ken Boy, and I believe Jonathan Davis there. You look at the presence of so many Stanford names, and you remember how good of a program historically Stanford has had and continues to have. Maybe they haven't had the cross-country success in recent years as you might expect with the talent that they have, but again, an event like this and a meet like this and a race like this reminds you of the talent that's there.
Yeah, and they are all up in there when it comes to leading this race. You've got All-Americans and Davis and Ken Boy hanging around them, but it's just a throng of Stanford runners surrounding them.
And that pace has kind of gotten back on track where it needs to be, back into that 64 range if they are wanting to challenge. We haven't talked about him much, but Thomas Boyden from Stanford is a Utah high school prospect as well, or product as well. Has come in and had a great career, a great start to his career here at Stanford. And now here he is competing with, some of the best runners around at the Stanford Invitational.
Here come your leaders. Final section of the men's 5,000.
All right, they're coming up on 6 laps to go here. There are a number of athletes who are still in this. I still feel really good about their chances to run fast, to threaten David McNeil. That's a name I hadn't heard or seen in a while. To threaten his meet record of 13:25:63. There are enough athletes that are still around the pace and still have the ability to ratchet it up as we go into getting closer to a mile to go, where that's absolutely possible. And for some of them, it wouldn't even be a personal best, which is just incredible.
So we've got Charlie Hicks, Thomas Boyden, Amit Kemboy of Arkansas, Ky Robinson, Cole Sprout from Stanford, all in the mix there with Yamato Yoshi in the all-white sitting in 5th. So we'll keep an eye on him, especially here with just over 5 laps to go. Yoshi, I think, could really start to make some moves early and from far out and really force this field to do something interesting.
And Kemboy looks easy like Sunday morning as well. We're starting to see Jonathan Davis, strong miler, kind of move back through the pack as some of the athletes are passing him a little bit more. We've got a Colorado athlete, Andrew Kent, moving up to the back of that pack.
We've also got Nate Osterstock of Southern Utah moving up. He was earlier on, was kind of on the tail end of the group. Finds himself now in the mid pack.
Stanford, Kemboy, Stanford, Yoshi.
It'll be interesting to see what Andrew Kent does there, the Colorado sitting in 6th as he settles in. Just it'd be interesting to see how he plays out the rest of this race. We've gotten the splits back into those high 64 range, back on track. That looks good.
Stanford athletes working together. This is like a training exercise for them. Perhaps a little faster than training.
Yeah, maybe a little bit faster.
Robinson out in front. We've got a mile to go.
Back to low 65-second splits. Not too far off what they need to be.
And this is the type of group that you could see a sub 2-minute close for the final 800, sub 3 for the final 1200. It's not out of the realm of possibility for athletes at this ability level.
So we've got Charlie Hicks, Ky Robinson, Cole Sprout, Emin Kemboy, Yamato Yoshi, and Andrew Kent in our lead pack. But there really isn't much of a gap between them and the chase pack so far. Coming up on 1,200 meters to go, 3 laps to go here as they come through. Kemboy moving on the outside.
Looks like he's keen to maybe test out the lead, if not just keep that second position and gear up for the kick. We've also got Andrew Kent moving up through the pack. Yoshi's starting to feel his pace a little bit. I'm surprised to see that.
Yeah. Yeah, Yoshi's fallen off that lead pack a little bit. That is very surprising for me to see.
Yeah, he's soon going to get swallowed up. At this point, it's down to the 3 Stanford athletes, Kemboy, and don't rule out Andrew Kent. He has kind of lurked around the corner. He stayed out of trouble, and he looks primed to make a hard close here in this race.
Kemboy willing to sit on the outside there a little bit.
This kind of sounds like the year 2003 here in Stanford, Colorado, Arkansas at the front of a 5,000, kind of harkening back to days of old.
But it's still Kemboy with the trio of Stanford runners, joined by Andrew Kent from Colorado at the front.
We've got about 800 to go. Kemboy is still waiting to make a move. Stanford does have the advantage of these guys know one another. They can work together, use team tactics. They're all trying to ultimately run fast, but when one moves, they're going to know how to react to it.
Power and Acres of Tulsa. Running 6 and 7.
So we're getting close to 600 meters to go here.
600 meters to go. We've got our 5 up in the front. We've also, we're living on a little bit of Tulsa time. It's possible that Power from Tulsa gets up into that group as well. He looks like he's closing pretty well, and they're kind of bunching up, waiting to see who's going to make the move, who's going to throw it down first. Yoshi's also seeing a little second burst of life there. He's probably a little too far out of it, but he's got a grip on kind of going backwards.
Let's see, getting close to the bell lap here, what Kemboy is going to do.
Year in and year out, these teams in the
Hey, and look at that. Who else but Andrew Kent on the outside making a move on the bell lap.
We got 400 meters to go, and the Stanford athlete has made his move.
Wow.
It looks to be Cole Sprout.
Sprout and Hicks making moves.
Stanford 1, 2, 3. Kent looks like he might be spent. It's going to come down to a Stanford athlete to win this race.
Wow, look at the move on the outside. Look, 200 to go, and the Stanford athletes are in a full-on sprint.
Wow, they have put on a clinic. Looks like they're going to go 1, 2, 3.
13:25.63 is the meet record. Wow.
Impressive performance from Stanford here. Ky Robinson's going to take it. He's got a new meet record, 13:23.
Wow. So it's Ky Robinson coming through in 13:23.61. Charlie Hicks coming through in 13:24.58. Both besting the meet record set by David McNeil from NAU back in 2010.
And, you know, he had some running left in him. He kind of whooped it up for the crowd a little bit there at the end. A pretty impressive close.
Yeah, closing in 56.69 for Robinson from Stanford.
Well, that, you know, we didn't see any national high school records in that race, but certainly a very impressive 5K and an excellent performance by the meet host Stanford, going 1, 2, 3 against some pretty stout competition. All right, before we get geared up for these women's 10Ks here,